is the Deputy Prime Minister and head of Ethiopia's delegation, Minister Demeke Mekonnen, who will join us now on the stage and share his thoughts from Ethiopia. Thank you.
Excellencies, heads of state and government, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. I wish to express my deep appreciation and thanks to the government of the United Kingdom for organizing the UK-Africa Investment Summit and for inviting Ethiopia to this important and timely gathering. The UK and Africa share a relationship based on mutual economic, social, political, and cultural bonds. We are confident that this special relationship will grow further as a result of our deliberations and engagements today. We highly value the initiative taken by the UK government to accelerate investment flows between Africa and the UK. We are confident that this will create lasting partnerships and further opportunities for growth. We know the global economy has been on a downward slide in recent years, with negative implications for global commodity price and trade flows. Understandably, this trend has created major concerns, especially among African countries that depend on commodity exports for income and foreign exchange earnings. Fortunately, there are positive signs that the tide may be turning. This is good news for African countries that are aspiring to achieve high-level growth and economic prosperity through export-led industrialization. In the last 2 decades, African countries have transitioned away from the negative growth pattern that dominated the 1970s and 80s towards remarkable performance that has been labeled by some observers as the African miracle. Ethiopia is one such example of that miracle. It has demonstrated that it is possible to achieve a growth rate much higher than the global average and sustain at a double-digit level for more than a decade. Indeed, Africa is home to 7 of the world's 10 fastest-growing economies. In reality, these achievements are the result of hard work and our determination to lift Africa out of poverty and dependence on external aid. We are learning from our own experience that it is only through discipline and by following the right policies and strategies that we can sustain the recent growth miracle. However, the share of intra-Africa exports as a percentage of a total African exports is the lowest of any other region in the world. It is partly to remedy the weak intra-Africa trade that we established the African Continental Free Trade Area, that largest regional trading bloc in the world. The ultimate goal is to establish a single continental market for goods and services, covering over 50 countries with a combined GDP of over $2.3 trillion and a population of 1.2 billion. There are great expectations from this trade agreement. It will enhance intra-Africa trade and create employment, catalyzing investment, and fostering high-level growth across the continent and beyond. However, while achieving high-level growth is important and necessary for generating wealth, it is not sufficient if it does not create decent and well-paying jobs, enabling countries to achieve shared prosperity. Achieving shared prosperity goes beyond registering high-level growth and increasing national income. It requires addressing the negative implications of inequality, social injustice, unemployment, and deprivation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, since 2018, Ethiopia has initiated a series of political, economic, and social reforms aimed at tackling head-on some of these challenges. On the political front, we are focused on creating a strong democratic order based on the rule of law, respect for fundamental human rights, and the basic liberties of our citizens. Creating peace in our region is a central feature of the effort to build a strong democratic order, not only at home, but also at the sub-regional level. Our tireless efforts are bearing fruit, as demonstrated by the peace accord signed between Ethiopia and Eritrea. For the first time in many years, families separated by a tragic war have been reunited and are beginning to live normal lives again. These are historic developments and exemplary for many other countries. On the economic front, our priorities are to strengthen the role of the private sector in the economy, achieve sustained growth through export-led industrialization, and make Ethiopia an African beacon of prosperity by 2030. We have also revised our investment laws to ensure that the domestic market is business-friendly, and to open up key sectors that were previously closed to foreign investment. This includes the telecommunication sector, aviation, energy, logistics, financing, leasing, and others. We want to create an attractive investment environment, empower the private sector, build our productive capacity, and create dynamic and competitive Ethiopian enterprises. And we want UK business to be among the first to take advantage of these changes. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is the youngest continent. Close to 60% of our population is under the age of 25. In a few decades, Africa will have the largest workforce. This trend will create an unprecedented opportunity for the continent. Yet, we will also have to overcome significant challenges. Key in this regard is the gap between the number of young people seeking work and the limited job opportunities. As government it is our role to ensure that the conditions are in place for strong private sector job growth. So I ask you to work with us in this new journey, in encouraging your business to invest in Africa, in facilitating our integration into the global economy, and in sharing with us the lesson from your own experiences. I invite you to join hands with the people of Ethiopia and Africa. And to the United Kingdom and Honorable Minister Alok Sharma, thank you for your continued support in this journey. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before I introduce our final speaker for today, let me say that it has been a joy and my singular honor to be your moderator today and to host many of the sessions and meet some of you. Thank you very much. To the people, I would also like to say a very big thank you to the people who provided the sign language interpretation, and to all the many people who worked so tirelessly to organize today and ensure that actually on the day everything worked seamlessly and flawlessly. Thank you. If you haven't done so already, I still invite you to visit the Business Innovation Hub to see for yourself some of the innovations that we're talking about. And now, to close the summit, I am proud to introduce the Right Honourable Alok Sharma, the UK International Development Secretary, to the stage.
Thank you, Lucy. Distinguished guests, friends, have you enjoyed yourself today? Guys, let's try this one more time. Have you enjoyed yourselves today? Brilliant, brilliant. Well, great. Well, let me extend my thanks to all of you for making the UK's first Africa Investment Summit such a success. Certainly for me and all my colleagues in government, this has been a fabulous day. I personally started off with President Kenyatta at the London Stock Exchange, launching the dual listing of East Africa's first green bond, the first Simba bond on the London Stock Exchange. And this was absolutely a landmark moment for Kenya's capital markets. And now, I close this summit addressing you this afternoon. We have representatives from 21 countries, and the UK government and British business deeply appreciates the effort that you have all made to join us today. I'm also really grateful to Nobukosi, to Dr. Ngozi, all our speakers, particularly Lucy Quist and other moderators and all participants. Can we have a round of applause for Lucy, please? She's done fantastically well today. Before I address what's actually been achieved today, let's look at what we hope will be the legacy of those achievements. Let's remind ourselves of why we came together today. I personally am absolutely delighted that Africa is the focus of our first international summit as a new government. In a rapidly changing world, it is Africa that has the biggest potential. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. It is home to 8 of the 15 fastest growing economies, as you've heard a number of times today. 60% of the population is under the age of 25. One way to look at it, Africa may historically be the oldest continent, but right now in the 21st century, it is the youngest continent on Earth. And as Africa grows and develops, international partnerships and investment will be key to unleashing that potential and delivering a better future for all those young people. And that, my friends, is why we've held the UK Investment Summit. We want the UK to be the investment partner of choice for Africa. And I'd like you to just go back to this morning and reflect on the African proverb that Prime Minister Boris Johnson quoted about the size of fingers. You remember that? Hopefully. That I thought was very illuminating. And of course, our ambition is reflected in the energy of this summit. We've heard from heads of state and governments, as well as young entrepreneurs, tech experts, business leaders, and it's absolutely clear that everyone shares that ambition. And actually, we started the day today with £6.5 billion of deals. We've ended with billions more, and that's thanks to people in this room. The UK government has announced over £1.5 billion of new initiatives. We expect these to create hundreds of thousands of jobs and mobilise over £2.4 billion of private investment for African countries, something that every speaker has said we need more of. But of course, this is just a small part of what the UK can offer Africa. We have world-leading technology and innovation expertise. We're committed to green growth that will help protect our environment for future generations. And we are global leaders on driving economic development through UK aid, something that I see every day in my working life. Whilst driving much-needed private finance into Africa, we want to see investment that builds self-sustaining economies. Economies that can provide quality health and education for everyone. And investments that properly consider their impact on the environment. Now, the City of London is the global gateway to sustainable international investment for Africa. London is the biggest centre for foreign exchange trading and the largest for cross-border banking, as well as being home to major investors, innovators, and multinational businesses. More and more of those investors are recognising Africa's potential. And what makes the UK different is our recognition that this huge investment needs to be felt by local communities across the whole of Africa. Everyone must share in prosperity. CDC, our own development finance institution, is investing right across the continent, making pioneering investments, backing first-time funds, and helping to mobilise other private investors. Today, CDC has agreed new investments worth £300 million and are committed to invest a further £2 billion in Africa over the next 2 years. I have announced £320 million to help improve the financial systems and regulations of 45 developing nations in Africa. We're not just boosting investor confidence, but also opening up access to banking and lending services for millions of entrepreneurs right across Africa. And with investment comes trade. And as we get Brexit done, we want a closer trading partnership with African nations. We've already signed trade agreements with 11 African countries, covering over 40% of the UK's total trade with Africa. We have 7 more in the pipeline, and we've secured trade continuity for a further 35 countries. This means businesses from these countries can continue to export to the UK on a preferential basis. We want UK businesses to seize new, exciting opportunities for investment across Africa. As we've heard today, by 2050, more than 2 billion people will live in Africa. 1 in 4 global consumers will be African. That is untapped potential. Potential for business to create jobs and investment across Africa. We are providing direct support and advice to African businesses to help them make the most of UK markets, whilst also supporting UK firms to source more quality, competitively priced products from Africa. Many UK businesses are already benefiting from these opportunities, and they're here today with us in this hall. I personally saw firsthand on a recent visit to Kenya, Cambridge-based business called Azuri Technologies, which provides solar energy systems to off-grid homes across Africa. Africa offers a wealth of young talent, where the majority of entrepreneurs are women. Nubukosi and others have demonstrated the vision shown by Africa's future female leaders. And it is why we have emphasised the importance of increasing support to help more women and girls in Africa, a big, big priority for Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Allowing women and girls to move successfully from education into employment through training, boosting skills, and more job opportunities. To realise Africa's full potential, the entire population must be empowered. We all know that Africa's future is bright. We know that there are deals to be done and that investment can have a transformative effect on all our countries. But we must be realistic about the scale of the challenge. Accomplishing the UN's global goals for a healthier, wealthier, more equal and greener world by 2030 will require an immense amount of work and, crucially, more private investment. The huge burden of climate change will not be shared equally or fairly across the world. Many developing countries are already bearing the brunt of its impact. Future growth must be sustainable. It needs to consider the undeniable implications of climate change. That is why Prime Minister Johnson today announced that the UK will no longer provide any direct investment or assistance to thermal coal mining and power plants overseas. We've seen at the summit the commercial potential for clean energy alongside the appetite from investors to power growth in Africa. We must harness that potential. Earlier today, Prime Minister Johnson passionately made the case for Global Britain to be the investment partner of choice for Africa. The whole UK government is devoted to this agenda. We're opening new embassies and high commissions in Africa. We're signing trade agreements that continue the open trading relationship we all enjoy. And we're helping UK companies and investors do business in Africa. But let us remember, we each have a role to play. Government cannot deliver prosperity alone. It is business that strikes the biggest deals. Which is why it's great to see so many of you in this room. It is the partnerships and friendships that we're creating here today that will have the biggest impact in the future. The UK is entering this decade with a new sense of purpose. We are open for business and open to creating lasting partnerships that deliver more investment, more jobs and growth for all our countries. Mutual partnerships will bring mutual benefits. From the workers whose jobs are created by businesses to the young entrepreneurs with the ideas that can help solve today's problems. Our overarching mission is to bring universal prosperity, health and economic sustainability to all our countries. If we continue this cooperation and friendship, we can do it. And ladies and gentlemen, Africa has a special place in my heart. When I was a child, my father worked in Nigeria, and I loved my time there. And I can tell you that I learned to ride my bicycle in Nigeria, and I haven't forgotten that yet. But let me conclude by saying that the 21 countries represented here today account for over 80% of Africa's economy. And when you succeed, the whole of Africa succeeds. And when Africa succeeds, the world succeeds. So let's work together for mutual success. Thank you for your participation.
This simple formula has helped us
At Daibon UK Limited, we are currently developing a sustainable renewable energy prosumer community solution for rural towns areas in Africa, starting from Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and possibly to expand to other African nations such as Egypt, South Africa, Ghana, Mauritius. Once this research pilot project builds up its track record and statistics and results, we will, as discussed much in this video from the summit, that we will be able to replicate this to other developing countries in the years to come, such as Central Asia, North Korea, and other developing countries around the world. The Lighthouse Towns, all-in-one sustainable community solutions for developing economies. We are trying to develop innovative prosumer blockchain and IoT-based smart town communities in developing countries. So from a consumer model to prosumer model, where each household and each town community can produce electricity and make money, earn money. We have a number of milestones. Should you wish to find out further, please let us know. And this is an example of a South Korean company which does smart farming in a container. Once we can find a good supply of electricity, we'll be able to connect to the agriculture side of the development, as well as micro-financing and educating the youth for the future of Africa. Thank you, and God bless you. Look forward to build Africa and serve the world together. Thank you from daibon UK Limited.